As you probably know, Apple held an event for the Apple Watch a few days ago, and after all the news about fanless MacBooks and mind-boggling iPhone sales figures, we were given our first real hands-on with the device. So what did we learn? Here's everything you need to know. First up, release date. The Apple Watch goes on pre-order on April 10th, and in the usual Apple style, the actual on-sale date lands 2 weeks later on April 24th. As an added bonus, you'll be able to check out the Apple Watch for yourself in Apple stores from April 10th. On to style and price, and we always knew that Apple was planning a few different variations of Apple Watch, but now we know exactly how many there are. 6, if we forget the different straps and colours, and an awful lot more variations if we don't. Some bands are only sold with certain watches, but all watch models of the same size, 38 or 42mm, will work with any band of the same size. The different models are the Standard Watch Collection, the Watch Sport, and the Watch Edition. All three come in two sizes, 38mm and 42mm. That roughly equates to the male and female standard watch archetypes. The one we imagine most people going for is Watch Sport. It's the cheapest of the three, with a silver or space grey anodised aluminium alloy casing and fairly normal looking straps, which come in 3 colours plus white and black and will set you back $349, £299 or $499 Australian dollars for the 38mm edition and $399, £339 and $579 Australian dollars for the 42mm one. The standard watch gets you an upgrade to a shiny stainless steel or space black stainless steel body and much fancier straps, including a Milanese loop woven out of wafer-thin metal wire that feels like fabric. Prices start at $549, £479, $799 Australian dollars and rocket up to $1099, £949 and $1629 Australian dollars if you pick the fanciest strap. That's right, you can double the cost by picking a different strap. Finally, the Watch Edition is the 18-karat gold version and starts at $10,000, £8,000 or $14,000 Australian dollars, creeping all the way up to $17,000, £13,500 and $24,000 Australian dollars. But no one apart from rappers and millionaires should even be considering that. Next up, apps. By the sound of it, there will be loads of Apple Watch apps available on launch day, but they don't really have their very own space. You'll browse through, use and download watch apps from your phone rather than directly from the watch itself. It's been common knowledge for a while that watch apps don't run entirely independently and are highly reliant on a connection with your iPhone. It's another confirmation that your Apple Watch is not going to be much use if you take it too far away from your phone. Some of the apps Tim Cook and co showed off during the Apple Watch event included Uber, WeChat, Instagram, Shazam and a home security monitor. Don't expect anything too in-depth though. Apple VP of Tech Kevin Lynch says most of the watch's applications are really about brief interactions. Many of these are just a few seconds long. Apple Watch takes cues from the Nike Fuel Band SE and other fitness trackers with health sensors and nutrition apps, a must for any serious wearable gadget these days. As you might expect, it has a custom heart rate monitor that can compete with some of the best running tech around. There's also a workout app that gives real-time stats for your total exercise time, distance, calories and pace. Keeping you motivated are goals, reminders and achievements. And so on to battery life. Apple has confirmed you'll need to charge this device every day, which is a bit of a shame. With the lack of GPS, we were hoping that it would at least match the competition and only need to be plugged in every 48 hours. Tim Cook has promised 18 hours of a typical day, which does sync with his comments that it can be worn all day, and is something that's simple to charge at night, due to the MagSafe magnetic charger which easily snaps onto the back. The 18 hours number is based on an Apple Watch being paired with an iPhone and used for 90 time checks, 90 notifications, 45 minutes of app use and a 30-minute workout with music playback via Bluetooth. Not unexpected, but not enough, let's be honest, and especially not for the money being charged. Finally, the water test. Apple has confirmed that the watch is water resistant, not waterproof. According to Apple, you can, for example, wear and use Apple Watch during exercise, in the rain and while washing your hands. But submerging Apple Watch is not recommended. While it could technically withstand water submerged at 1 metre for up to 30 minutes, testing its limits is not recommended. Apple has also made no mention of the amount of storage each watch will have. We expect it to offer a few gigabytes of space for installing apps and storing music, but there's no word yet of exactly how much this will be. One thing's for sure, now Apple has brought visibility of wearables to the wider market through the Apple Watch, everyone will benefit through higher customer traction. Will we see everyone wearing one? Probably not, but then again not everyone owned an iPad or iPhone at the start. This is phase 1 of a much longer product game, but the Apple Watch is quite a good start. Let us know what you think about the Apple Watch in the comments below, and for more on the Apple Watch and all other tech news, reviews, previews and features, don't forget to subscribe to Tech Radar.